All right, Randy, appreciate that. You're liking these numbers. Renee Lucas is here. She joins us, co-owner of LCS Heating and Cooling. A lot of furnaces. I see people on social media all the time having contests. Who's going to be the last person to turn
the furnace on?
Yeah.
You know what the deciding factor is in our house?
What?
Our dogs.
Oh, okay.
If Sophie starts shivering, furnace goes on.
But there are some things. There are important reminders. Some of them seem like common sense, but all you have to do is watch the news, and you see stories of people with, compensating for perhaps an underperforming furnace in a dangerous way.
Yes, 100%. So my best friend is actually a firefighter with the Beech Grove Fire Department.
Okay.
And he and I were talking about the uptick in house fires in the winter season, and especially around the holidays. And some of it has to do with plugging in all of those fun Christmas lights and the trees and all that stuff. And some of it is from space heaters.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today is keeping safe.
Well, they are not all created equal, and they're all worthy of reading the directions.
Oh, for sure. And, the biggest problem with space heaters, so if somebody has a furnace that goes out, a lot of times they'll think, I'll just plug in a space heater and it'll save me money from having my furnace fixed. That really isn't true. These are so inefficient that you're going to see your utility bill go up, first of all. But secondly, they're not safe. And so many people, this is as far as the cord is, for the most part, right? So if you're talking about a living room or a bedroom, a lot of people will use an extension cord to plug in, and that's where you have
any old extension cord that they have handy.
Yes. So I brought in, this is actually from our house. Travis hates this extension cord, and when I use it, but I'm like, yeah, but you can't see it, and it looks so much nicer if it's white and it goes along the baseboards. He's like, don't use that, it's a fire hazard. But we'll see these little chintzy extension cords, and people will plug in not only one but they'll do 2 and 3 with a space heater, with their Christmas tree, all their lights and all that.
Everything.
Oh, it really is. It's a fire hazard just sitting there in your home.
The nice thing I would say about space heaters is the built-in safety features. I have one in my garage. That it's like, and I'm clumsy.
Yep.
I barely brush that thing, and it will shut off. I'm like, oh, are you okay, Forner?
Yeah.
You okay? And then I turn it back on. At least in that regard, they've come a ways.
They have come a long ways. A lot of people have old space heaters in their homes, though. And so
that's what ends up in the garage.
It is, yeah. You tip it over, or the biggest thing, don't leave it on all night. Don't leave it on all night when you're sleeping. It's no different than, some people would say, well, I'm just going to turn my oven on and open the door. Not a great housewarming idea. No. So the biggest thing, use some sort of power surge protection. Make sure you're not plugging in extension cord after extension cord after extension cord, or you'll see like something like this, and then you have the dividers that go onto that.
And then little Billy plugs in his laptop and fries that.
Yes.
You could be out more than just personal safety, a lot of money. So let's talk quickly, if we can, about carbon monoxide.
Okay, so carbon monoxide is a big deal, and we've actually been talking about it a lot lately. So the hard thing about carbon monoxide is it's odorless and you can't see it. And so the only way you know if you have a carbon monoxide issue is if you have a carbon monoxide detector, which every home with any gas appliance must have a carbon monoxide detector. It's as important as your smoke detectors. Put them on all levels of your home. So not just down in the basement by a furnace or a water heater, but put them in your bedroom, put them in the hallway, put them in your kitchen. If you don't have a carbon monoxide detector, or if it's not working, if the batteries are dead, the only way you're going to know if you have an issue is if you start feeling poorly. And a lot of times that can be mistaken for your common cold or the common flu. And then it can go as far as death. And so there's deaths every single year from carbon monoxide poisoning. It can build up in your system, all that good stuff. And so it's such a cost-effective protector to have in your home. There's no reason not to get it.
And I'm going to go full dad on you here. When you get closer to the holidays and your kids' toys need batteries, don't borrow from the carbon monoxide detector or from the fire detector. Pony up the money for the new ones.
Yes, or take them out of the remote or something. Although most people are like, what, the remote? No, I'm not doing that. But
priorities.
Yes, I know, priorities. And the last thing that I'll say is make sure you have a fire plan, especially with your kids. Do your kids know what to do if you do have a fire? Do they know where to go?
Don't assume.
Don't assume. And chimneys. That's another big one, is have your chimneys cleaned, call a chimney company. If all that soot and everything builds up in there and you have cracks that come in the flue liner, you can have some carbon monoxide issues from your chimneys as well.
Particularly if you haven't used it in a while, but you feel like this year you want to be cozy. It's also inefficient, but it looks nice, so check with the professionals, LCSHeatingandCooling.com. We'll put the link on IndyStyle.tv.